This will be a whirlwind tour of formatting a Word 2010 document for Kindle. So hold on to your hats. We're going to go through all the basic steps very quickly. We're starting out, and this is the ribbon in Word 2010. You want to come over here. You're in the Home tab. You are in the Styles section, and you start by making sure you're in a style set that is simple. So you come over here, you make it simple, and now you go back to the front, and we are going to start with the title. I'm going to make it big enough for you to see what I'm doing. And everything will be done in the Styles menu. Don't do anything manually. I highlight my title, and actually Harry Potter's Book of Virtues, The Virtue of Work, is the title. So I go up here and I click title. My subtitle is the volume, and I click subtitle. I'll make my name a subtitle, and that's all I want on the first page. Then I put a page break, insert, page break, moves everything to the top of the next page. This will be my copyright page. And so I have right here, copyright Connie W. Neal, but I want that cute little C in a circle. So I do parentheses, small c, in parentheses, and it turns it into that little copyright mark. After I have all my copyright information there, I insert another page break. But actually, this is the beginning of where I want my table of contents to go. So I'm going to put in another page break. I'm going to go back up here to the beginning of this page, and I want to make a table of contents. So I go to References, I go to Table of Contents, I choose a table of contents, and I click on it, and it tells me what to do with the table of contents. It says no table of content entries are found. I'll explain why in a moment. So we start our content on the next page. Now I'm going to go back home. You always go home. Go back home, and you will notice here you have heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5. The table of contents will add anything you set as a heading 1, 2, or 3. So let me go through and highlight these. This and this are title. I go back home to find my headings. Okay, that's my heading 1. And I'm going down to find, and I'm going to make this a heading 1. Go back home. It's a heading 1. I'm going to go down. I'm looking for all my headings. Here's another heading. I know this because I know what are my titles for sections, and I know what are my subtitles for sections, and so that's how you decide what's a heading 1, what's a heading 2, what's a heading 3. The work ethics of the Weasleys is a heading 1. Okay, it's a heading of a whole section. The entrepreneurial spirit of Fred and George is a secondary heading under the work ethic of the Weasleys. And if you look over here, you'll also see the working example of Mr. and Mrs. Weasley is also heading 2. But under that heading 2, I have 2 subsections, which is Mr. Weasley, a heading 3, and Mrs. Weasley, a heading 3. So you can see there how I'm going through and I'm just picking out the headings. Now I'm going to go back home. I'm going to look at my table of contents, and I told you that all the headings 1, 2, and 3 would show up in your table of contents, but there's nothing there yet. You have to go back to References, you have to update your table, and then you notice everything I made a heading 1, heading 2, or heading 3 is there stair-stepped in the order of the outline. So I've shown you that. Let me show you now how to do some of the other things. This is a strong quote. This is a quote I want offset because it's going to start the chapter, actually start the book. So I choose intense quote for that. And I'd like to have it centered. So I go over to the paragraph and I center it. And I think I might like that centered too. So I'm doing some of the formatting. Okay, spoiler alert, I want this emphasized. And so I go up here and I'm going to find intense emphasis. Now I want this primary reference works to be in my table of contents, so I'm going to choose a heading 1. And then I'm going to go over the books here. These are all the J.K. Rowling books. which I quote, and so those are book titles. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to choose book titles. Now let me also show you all of these I want to hyperlink. So while I have them highlighted, I go here, I right click, I go to hyperlink, and I've already gone in my, I've gone over here and I've already got the URL of where they can find the complete Harry Potter books. So I copy that, I go back, I drop that in my address there, I click OK, and you'll notice now that all of these books are hyperlinked, and in my Kindle book they will take the reader directly to buy the books if they need them. I'd like to center that. I just like the way it looks. So, and I want to center this too. So I center that. Now I want to show you a regular quote. Okay, we're going to go down, and as I go through my document, everything that's a quote, I don't just want to italicize it, I actually want to make it a quote through the styles section. And so I'm looking here for quotes, and here's a quote, and I highlight that, and then I make it into a quote. And here's a quote from Dumbledore, but it's more than 40 words, so I want that to be a quote, but I also want it to be indented, so I make it a quote, and then I go over here and I indent. Now let me show you the section break and the page breaks. Okay, right here, after I get done with my table of contents, that's where the contents of the books really start. So it's different than just a page break. I have a page break there, but I really want to make that a section break, and that's a little bit different. So I put my cursor where I want my section break, and I go up here to page layout, and under breaks I go to section breaks, next page, and I click on that, and there it shows me that it's starting a complete new section, and this will come in handy later when you convert your Kindle book manuscript into a book for paperback through CreateSpace or something else.